Hey guys, it's your boy Adam, and today, right now, this particular video, I'm not going to be talking about Magic the Gathering. I'm actually going to talk about a particular game that has risen in the market, and I would like to present to you guys and give you my honest opinion about it, since I have played quite a few games in the franchise, and I think it's a wonderful game that I should bring up and allow you guys to hear about. Alright, so the game is Persona 5. Persona, the franchise, was never really well known here in the America. It it was one of those games that you had to pick up when it was first out to really enjoy, because if it wasn't well known, it was just one of those die-hard fans. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Call of Duty where everybody plays it. It was just, you had to be a die-hard fan to play the game. Well, I won't say die-hard to play it, but you had to know what it was to understand the full extent of what the game had to offer versus, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and such. Well, anyways, guys, here's the case of Persona 5. It's sparkly. I got the launch book edition, and it is fantastic. Here, let me open it up for you. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. But so Persona is about a game. It's made by Shin Megami Tensei, and it's a segment of their franchise, because Shin Megami Tensei, just so you guys know, I'm not trying to talk French to you, but Shin Megami Tensei has its own segment, its own personal franchise. Persona is an off-branch, pretty much, but it's made by the same developers. They all do the same things, but there's differences. But Persona, it's particularly about high school students. And your main protagonist is a high school student. They're all transfer students, and they receive a power called Persona, their inner facade. And you acquire this power, and you eventually find people who have the potential to unlock the same power as you, and go about these dungeons, doing particular different stuff. What the game's themes are. Like, there's Persona 3, and those, you are venturing in the dungeon of Tartarus, the Dark Hour. Yeah, the Dark Hour. And Persona 4, you roam around and you go through TVs into the dungeons. So there's that. And now Persona 5, you're stealing hearts and going into palaces and doing all sorts of shit that is amazing. Sorry I vaped it kind of a little bit this video. I want to cover quite a bit about this game. This is my review. But, so, Persona 5, as I said, the high school student and all that, I won't leak any spoilers for you guys, but this game is fantastic. It was one of the most anticipated games coming to America, which is really funny because Persona is not very well known. The reason why it became well known, because in Japan, when it launched, it made over like 10 million gross. And it's still being bought to this day by tens of hundreds of people in Japan. Like, it was so good. It did so well in Japan. People in America were even going to Amazon and ordering Japanese versions of the game, because we had years and years of delay of the game. And some of the people here said, you know what, I'm just going to order it since it's already in Japan. So they went ahead and ordered it and played it and all that. But the game's finally here. It's only been here for a few days. And let me tell you, it is one of the best Persona games I've ever played in my life. Don't get me wrong, there are other quirks, there is some flaws I do not like, but there are more upsides than downsides to the game. So, like I said, it's one of the most anticipated games. So far as I know, I haven't really done the research yet, how good it's doing here, but it's fantastic. If you got the buck to pay on a new game, it's for PlayStation, PS4, and PS3. I highly recommend this game. It will open your eyes to a different particular genre. It's an RPG. It will keep you highly on your feet. There's so many twists, plot themes, so much foreshadowing. It's crazy. You get to do so much stuff. It's not open world, but it's a step down from open world. So it's not like super adventurous like, but you get to move around in dungeons. And in this one they feature where you can actually walk around in town and do a whole bunch of stuff, and it's so cool. Um, they have better social links in the game, where now they're called confidants instead of social links, which is kind of cool. Uh, they enhanced the battle system, which is cool. They kind of mixed the Shin Megami Tensei original series with the Persona and kind of mishmashed it and put it into a baby game, and here it is. And it's so awesome. Well, alright guys, so I already told you what it is, the genre, all of that. I'm going to go over the good things, and then I'm going to go over the bad things. So, like I said, this video might be a little long, I apologize, but I got a little bit to cover on this game. And especially for people who don't know the franchise. Alright, so, the good things about this game, the changes are pretty good. I like a little bit of the changes. Like I said, you get to adventure more. The system was cleaned up quite a bit in the battles. The characters are amazing. They put a lot of time into how these characters portray themselves in the game and the decisions you make. It's super fantastic. Let's see here. The items it's so much like you can fast travel to like stores and such. They made it better where you can increase your attributes like in multiple different ways, and that's really cool. It's really good because like in the other games you only had like really one way to increase your stuff, and that was kind of boring, but it was effective because that was the only way you could do it. But now there's multiple ways you could do to increase your benevolence in the game, and it's so wonderful. Uh Better graphics, of course, because we were working with PlayStation 2 stuff and PSP. Let's see here. The bosses actually have a very good theme to them, very good backgrounds. The game story is just astonishing, really. The developers of the game took years to make this, and in their exact words, and I quote, "We took several years of this game so we could give you the perfect Persona game. We're sorry that it was delayed for so long, but we're excited to launch this game now, and we're hoping that everybody can enjoy what we've added on from Atlus, which is the company that makes the game." And boy, did they do a good job. I love this game. I am currently like 45 hours into this game. I cannot put down this game. It is too amazing. But now here's the downsides of the game. They made it harder to increase your attributes like charm, your knowledge. Yeah, they changed the words from a whole lot, so I'm sorry if it takes me a second to remember them. But they changed a whole bunch of the attribute names, and they made it harder because there's multiple ways to do it now. So I don't like that fact that you'll have to, do a whole lot to increase it. I hate how, like, in the characters, Like, don't get me wrong, the characters are actually really good, but there's not like a silly character to even out all the seriousness, because the game is very serious, but there's no silliness, there's no goofiness to even out these measures. So you can have, like, there's funny moments in the game, don't get me wrong, but in the other prior games, there was a lot of funny moments to go around, so you weren't always so tensed up. Another thing I didn't like is how in the prior games you could do whatever you wanted, and you had a whole bunch of free time when you're not doing the dungeon battles and such. In this one, they kind of take a little bit of that freedom away. Yikes. But they did it. They took it away a little bit to implement more story, which is not entirely too bad. But I wish I had a little more free time. Like, after I get done with the dungeon, I want to go out and hang out with my friends or something in the game. Or I want to go eat somewhere, go see a movie or something. And they kind of took that away a little bit, but it's not, like, horrible. But, and another notion, they made the combat system is good, they polished it, but one of the bad things is they made the enemies, like, a little bit harder to hit, which is not, like, horrible. It gives you a more challenging feature, but it's just, you know, like, when you use a skill, is it going to hit or not? Well, I better buff my guys so it hits, and which is not too bad. It gives you the incentive becoming the better player, you know, worrying about a whole bunch of elements in the game. But still, you know, for people that are just picking up the game that actually haven't played it before, they're going to have a pretty hard time, like, trying to figure out, you know, the elements, the attributes of, like, how to win an actual battle pretty easy. And it's just going to make it harder for them to actually be able to hit their opponent. But other than that, there's not really much bad to the game. If you got $50, $60 to spend, I highly recommend it. There's several hours to be put into this game, and you will not regret it. The battles are good, characters are good, the dialogue's really good that you get to pick from. Oh, I haven't mentioned. You get to pick your own dialogue, what you say to other people, like in Mass Effect or something. But dialogue's really good, characters, battling, the elements of just the whole game itself. The story is really good, the plot twist. So if I had to rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 9. The only reason why I didn't hit the 10 mark is because of the simple fact of the downsides of the game that I've mentioned. And, I mean, obviously in my review, it didn't take a whole lot out of the whole initial 10, but you do have to consider for the newer players that are trying to get into the game and might want to go back into the franchise to play the other games. So I give it the 9. It's a great buck to buy. It's still a really good game. You have to pick it up. If you're done playing Call of Duty for a little bit, League of Legends, Magic the Gathering, Battlefield, you want something new, go pick up this game. It's brand new, yes, it's kind of expensive and all that. But what new game that just launched that are actually really good aren't expensive? So go ahead, go to your local game store, go to Amazon, buy this game, and I promise you, you will not go bad with it. Your money is well spent. And this is Adam. This is my very first video game review. Please like this video, subscribe to me, that'd be really awesome. I was actually a little not nervous, but I've never done this before, and I'm sorry there's not like pictures everywhere, and that, you know, I'm still working on the kinks of how to do that. I'm looking for an app and all that. But still, like this video, subscribe to me, be awesome. Later on today, I'm going to be doing another deck tech of a blue-green aggro deck, which is pretty effective in the format standard. Keep posted. Anyways, this is Adam. I'm signing off.